Good afternoon, Tony Dattino doing Live with Tony on Monday, and we are one evening away from trick or treat and Halloween. So time is going by, and the month of October has kind of zipped by. I wanted to cover today something I've studied and we talk about for years. It actually covers some of the elements that we have included in our Maximum Memory online course, and also in our 6 key factors to brain health. And it talks about your brain bank and what are some things that we can do that we can take control over. So what are some things that we can do that can impact and provide a buffer against dementia and possible cognitive decline? The interesting part to me is I've obviously been studying this for over 30 years, and I see more and more coming out in issues like New Scientist magazine. Let's get it over here. New Scientist, Future Proof Your Brain, meaning we are finally getting to the point where people have known information for decades. So we've studied this. God, I remember when I started this, studying about the nuns in Minnesota and what they were discovering, that their biopsies, they gave agreement to let their brains be diagnosed. And they noticed that they had the plaques and all of the disease that we call Alzheimer's today. But yet, none of these nuns in this convent demonstrated any cognitive impairment in their speaking or in their day-to-day activities. And so what's interesting to me is we've known this information for years, and I mean more than 10, more than 20. What are we doing with it? Are we just ignoring it? And is our mental health and our brain bank not important to us? Is it not important to us until it may be too late to be thinking about the things that we can do for dementia and the things that we can do to help improve our mental functioning and build what this suggests is a cognitive reserve? And when do we start building that reserve? And do we wait till the doc says, oh, you've got amyloids and plaque, and your MRI says you got a problem in your brain? Or can we do things at any age and begin to build what they affectionately call cognitive reserve? This is a simple way of saying we have known for 3 decades that some people's brains can function normally, even when riddled with the plaque and the damage associated with dementia, due to the capacity called cognitive reserve. So we can have a reserve here. We can build other pathways. We can strengthen, it's like a muscle. We can build muscle-like fibers in our brain, neurons, axons, and dendrites. We have this capacity called reserve, yet despite the evidence of its importance, it's been challenging to pin down exactly how this works. But more importantly, it's been challenging to get people to believe that this is science that they can trust and they can believe. And this is the most fascinating part I've had in working with mental athletes for 24 years at the USA Memory Championship, in that we've got this handful of people who have taken upon themselves, for any number of reasons, from our 5-time champion who found grandparent who suffered from dementia, and he never wanted to be in that particular boat himself, and so he started learning how to do mnemonics and memory systems and memory challenges, and now he speaks about this to people all over the world. And so do we take this science that we're learning and do we take it and say, well, it's not going to happen to me, or I really don't believe there's anything I can do about it, or are we just going to wait until the doc says, hey, it's too bad, too late? So here's what I find interesting about this: the growing evidence of the importance of building cognitive reserve. Now we are beginning to understand what the physical mechanisms are, how this is working. And it opens up new possible treatments and a fresh look and ideas and how we can protect our thinking at any age, how we can start building that reserve at any age in our lives so that we minimize and we reduce that which we can take control over. We can reduce the impact of maybe normal aging or maybe things that we don't do right in our lives. So now as we begin to have this understanding, what was amusing to me is in the science here, as this author is writing this article on Brain Bank, he says at first the concept that I had thought it was funny. That colleagues didn't believe in what I was studying and what I was learning. And this is one of the challenges we have with the USA Memory Championship or with the USA Memory, with people believing there really isn't much they can do. When you ask people, do you believe you're born with your memory and therefore it's not malleable, there's nothing much you can do to it, and therefore you're stuck, whatever those genes were, you missed them at birth? Or do you believe there are some things you can take back into your own power and that you can maximize activities in your environment, in your culture, in how your habits live, that can make this difference? And so here the scientists are saying, God, when I first started coming up with some of these ideas of Brain Bank and some of the research I was doing, my colleagues thought it was amusing. I know in some of the universities that I've spoken with, many of the scientists that you believe should be the ones on top of this look at you like it's not real. You know what? This stuff is hocus pocus. And yet, when you look at the lives of the men and women, the students and the people, adults that have competed in the USA Memory Championship and what that competition has done, my goodness, it's been life-changing for them. They're doing things today they never thought they would be able to do in their life. All right, so cognitive reserve, we talk about it. The author writes, is like the capacity of the software that you can put into your computer. So if you think of the software in your phone apps, right? The software they put into an app, and how, God, it's a whole block in New York City of a computer system in the 70s. Now is all locked into this little phone. If you can think of that same principle in the capacity you can upgrade throughout your life, is amazing. Sometimes I have a hard time expressing the words that basically tell people you have this amazing, in an average human being, we have an amazing capacity to retain, recall, utilize information. It's just mind-blowing. Oh, goodness. It recognizes that there's a combination. So let's look at brain reserve and the hardware of the brain, the physicality of it, how well we maintain the physical attributes of our brain. So we think of the hardware as the physical attributes and the software as the capacities of skill and the abilities we do, and then the maintenance of it. So how do we maintain the hardware, the nutrition, sleep habits, a lot of the things that we are able to do that impact the hardware, the physiology of it. And we think of the software, the applications, the things that we're able to demonstrate and do and use. It is the combination of the reserve from the cognition, from the physical hardware, and the maintenance that enables individuals to preserve their thinking abilities into whatever age, far more than most people can do. So now we're thinking three pieces, right? Well, what do I do to maintain the physiology of my brain, my nutritional habits, my exercise habits, the physical things I do, my bone structures, my muscles? What do I do with the skills that I learn that now apply, challenge my thinking, challenge my brain, create a desire for me to learn and continue to learn and educate myself? And then the maintenance that enables individuals to preserve their thinking abilities much better than others. These three aspects are all related, says the Sussex School of medicine in the UK. They found that these aspects take form such as education, the ongoing education you may take, occupation, what do you do for a living? Certainly those that challenge your mind. Lifestyle choices, what life do you want to live and what positivity do you bring to it? And what do you do for your leisure and social activities? All of this contributes to a higher level of cognitive reserve, which is now the software that allows the hardware to keep functioning at peak performance. There's more to this article I will cover on my Friday Live with Tony. There's still 2 more pages. But I would encourage anyone listening to this that wants to learn a little bit more about the factors of mental health, go to the USA Memory Championship website, go to one of the training courses and take a look at the 6 key factors of brain health. We cover everything that's in the last several broadcasts that I do. We cover that in that online course. It's got to be one of the most valuable courses that I could ever recommend people take if they have any concern over their long-term mental fitness. And off we go for another couple days. I shall see you back here on Friday. I guess today is Monday, so where have I lost Monday in the week? But shall see you back here on Wednesday with my next Live with Tony. So have a great week, and we are off and going. I was thinking World Series. I said, oh, World Series game Monday night. Not sure who's playing Monday Night Football tonight, but I was really bummed at how the Giants blew yesterday's game. So I am not much into football right now. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on Wednesday.